My precious one, you have walked through shadows that no one else could see. You have smiled while your soul trembled, carried others when you could barely stand, and whispered prayers through tears no one else noticed. I have seen it all, every silent ache, every quiet surrender, every moment you felt invisible, discarded, misunderstood. Not 1 second of your pain escaped me. I was there in the hallway of that hospital, in the dark of your bedroom, in the spaces between your sobs, where even words failed you. You thought I was distant in those moments, but I was closer than your breath. You thought I was silent, but I was speaking through the stillness. I was not ignoring your suffering. I was shaping you in it. I was allowing the breaking not to destroy you, but to uncover something deeper. Something you didn't know I placed within you. You have called yourself weak because you could not see the purpose behind your pain. But what you thought was breaking was actually birthing. I let the pressure press in so that the layers of fear, insecurity, and doubt would peel away. What remained? What remains is the raw, unfiltered essence of who I made you to be. Beneath all that was taken, beneath all that was shattered, there is still a flicker of strength you don't recognize yet. I placed it there before your first breath. You've mistaken survival for stagnation. You thought you were stuck, but you were being sanctified. I have allowed the silence to linger so your ears could tune into the deeper voice, the voice that doesn't thunder, but whispers. And now in this moment, I whisper again. I whisper to your heart. You are stronger than you think, not because you forced it, not because you earned it, but because I have always been pouring myself into you. There were days when you felt you had nothing left, and yet you rose not because of your own will, but because my spirit lifted you. There is a reason you didn't collapse completely. There is a reason you kept going when everything in you begged to give up. That reason is me. I held you when your faith slipped. I covered you when your own strength vanished. What carried you was not your own power. It was mine, hidden within you. You don't see it yet, but I have been awakening something quietly, gently, powerfully, like the roots of a tree breaking through the hardened soil. The strength within you has been growing in secret. The world cannot see it. You haven't even seen it. But soon, what I planted in the dark will rise into the light. And when it does, it will shock even you. You look at your reflection and still see the bruises. But I see the blueprint. I see the warrior. I see the one who survived what others couldn't. The one who rose even when it wasn't fair. The one who chose love when bitterness begged for room. That is strength, and I'm awakening it now. The pain was never meant to define you. It was meant to refine you. What you lost is not greater than what I'm about to reveal within you. You thought the storm came to drown you, but it came to train you, to teach you to walk on waves you once feared. Your faith is not broken. It has just been tested. And I am the one who allowed the test not to shame you, but to shape you into something unshakable. You have cried for rescue, but I've been building resilience. You have begged for the season to end, but I've been sowing something eternal within it. What I am doing in you cannot be rushed. I have timed every step, every delay, every detour with surgical precision. What looked like wasted years were actually wombs. What looked like rejection was protection. What looked like a closed door was a hidden passage to the place you truly belong. I do not waste suffering. I do not ignore your waiting, and I never forget my promises. I am not the kind of father who forgets what he said. I am not the kind of God who abandons his child in the wilderness. I led you into it not to leave you there, but to meet you there. For it is in the wilderness where I reveal my wonders. It is in the dry places where I cause springs to rise. You've asked, "Where are you, Lord?" I answer now. I've been right here beneath the surface, within the ache, wrapped around your trembling spirit. And I am stirring. I am moving. I am releasing. You cannot see it all yet, but the power is coming. And when it does, it will not be a flicker. It will be a flood. The world has underestimated you because they could not see what I planted. But I did not make you to be seen. I made you to be sent, and you are almost ready. Not because you have perfected yourself, but because you have surrendered in the unseen. That is where true power grows. Not in applause, but in anonymity. Not in comfort, but in the crush. And now, my child, I am about to reveal what the crushing produced. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are being built for something greater than you've dared to imagine. And the very things you thought disqualified, you have been the very things I will use to distinguish you. Be still now. Feel my presence wrapping around you, like the quiet after the storm. I have not forgotten you. I have not overlooked you. I am awakening strength you didn't know you had. And this is only the beginning. You have mistaken delay for denial, but I have never denied you. I was only preparing what eyes could not yet see. There are seasons where I move in the open, where blessings are visible and victories are loud. But there are other seasons, longer, quieter ones, where I work in silence, like the forming of roots beneath the surface. You are in the latter. But don't let the silence confuse you. What I do in secret is no less powerful. In fact, it is often more sacred. The world measures growth by what can be seen, but I measure by what is strengthened in the unseen. You have grown not by leaps others can witness, but by the courage you've summoned when no one was watching. That courage, that raw endurance when everything inside you screamed to quit. That's what I call power. The world claps for victories they can behold. But I rejoice over the moments you chose faith, when it would have been easier to walk away. I know you're tired. I know the weight has been heavier than your words could express. There were nights you laid awake, staring at the ceiling, wondering if you were failing me, wondering if you had somehow fallen too far, waited too long, made too many mistakes. But I never left, even in your doubt, even in your silence, even in your questions. I stayed. I didn't call you because you were strong. I called you because I knew what I placed within you, and I knew what the fire would unlock. Yes, fire. You have been in it, and I allowed it not to consume you, but to refine what religion and routine could never reach. Fire has a way of burning away the false so the true can rise. You have felt like everything was being stripped away. That's because it was. But only the layers that were never yours to carry. The shame, the fear, the need to prove your worth, those are ashes now. And from those ashes, I am calling forth beauty. This is not the end. This is the emergence. I am awakening something ancient in you, older than your wounds, deeper than your fear. A strength not born of striving, but of surrender. A power not built in applause, but in the private moments where you chose me again and again. That's where legacy is born. Not in the light of fame, but in the furnace of faith. You've asked for signs. You've pleaded for clarity. But I tell you now, I've been writing answers into your very breath. Every time you inhaled, when anxiety pressed you down, that was my power. Every time you forgave me, without receiving an apology, that was my nature, alive in you. Every time you chose love over bitterness, hope over despair, mean over comfort, that was strength rising, quiet and invisible, but unstoppable. You won't always feel it. Strength rarely feels loud. Sometimes it feels like surviving the hour. But that is enough. Don't despise your endurance. It is a weapon. Don't minimize your stillness. It is sacred. I'm not asking you to be more. I'm asking you to trust that what I've already placed in you is enough, more than enough, because I am in you, and I am not small. You've wondered why I've allowed the silence to stretch. It is because I trust what I placed in you. I know you're closer than you realize. You are standing on the edge of something that will not only shift your life, but ripple through generations. And that kind of impact requires deep foundations. That's what I've been laying. Deep roots, quiet confidence, the kind of strength that doesn't shake when the winds rise. Because it was built in the secret place, in the lonely place, in the furnace where only you and I remained. And now listen closely. The season is shifting. What was silent will begin to speak. What was hidden will begin to rise. You will begin to feel it, not in noise, but in a knowing. Not in applause, but in alignment. Doors that were shut will cock open. Not because you knocked harder, but because your soul is ready to walk through them. I am the one unlocking them. And I am doing it now, not in haste, but in holiness. You may not recognize yourself at first because the version of you that's emerging is no longer wrapped in fear. It is no longer bound by the need to be accepted, no longer chained to the voices of those who misunderstood your calling. You are being called out of hiding, not to perform, but to be, to embody what I've whispered to you when no one else was around. You are not who you were. The fire has done its work, and what remains is someone forged in faith, steadied by storms, untouched by shallow praise or fleeting trends. You have grown beyond the surface. You are rooted now, grounded in something immovable in me. And with that grounding, I am releasing something. You have felt the tremors. You've seen glimpses, moments of peace that surpass understanding, sudden strength in your voice. When you speak truth, unexpected boldness when you should have been afraid. That is my power awakening within you. It is not coming. It is here. Subtle but real. Gentle but unshakable. It will not rush. It will rise. And as it rises, it will begin to align every part of your life that once felt fractured. You'll see it in your relationships, in your thoughts, in the way you carry yourself through rooms that once intimidated you. Not arrogance, but authority. Not noise, but clarity. The quiet power of someone who knows who they are because they know whose they are. This is the hour I begin to unfold what I have always seen in you. You may still feel the sting of your past, but it will not disqualify you. It will distinguish you because you did not run from it. You stood in it. You stayed with me in it. And now I stay with you, as it becomes the very fuel for your rising. Be still again. Feel the shift. The silence has not been empty. It has been holy. I have not been absent. I have been awakening the strength you didn't know you had. And this is only the beginning. You don't need to strive anymore. You don't need to pretend to perform, to try to impress those who never understood the weight of your calling. I see you beyond the masks, beneath the armor. I know the real you. The one who prays through tears, who doubts but still hopes, who falls but still stands. And that version of you, the honest, raw, surrendered version, is the one I've chosen to carry the fire I'm now releasing. You are stepping into days where everything begins to make sense. The why behind the waiting, the purpose behind the pain, the reason some doors had to shut, the truth behind why certain people had to leave, even when it broke your heart. Nothing was wasted. Not the tears, not the loneliness, not the silence, not the moments when you thought I had forgotten you. I never did. I was drawing you closer. I was teaching your spirit how to hear me. Even when your heart was breaking, the unveiling has begun. Not just of your destiny, but of your identity. I am showing you who you really are. Not who the world told you to be. Not who fear shaped you to become. Not who the past tried to convince you you'd always be, but who I say you are. Chosen, holy, set apart, filled with my spirit, covered in grace, carried by mercy, called by name. You have looked at others and wondered why it came easier for them. But what I'm doing in you was never meant to be easy. It was meant to be eternal. Some are built for comfort. You were built for fire, for impact, for heaven-shaking, earth-moving purpose. And that requires layers that others will never understand. You've been misunderstood, misread, even rejected. But that rejection was not a curse. It was redirection. I was guiding you away from where your spirit would shrink and into places where your soul would expand. Don't rush this. You are being sculpted. Each layer I peel back is revealing something more radiant than the last. Each revelation, each encounter with me is making you whole. And wholeness is what you need. Not perfection, not performance, not control. Just wholeness, peace, confidence, rooted not in what you've done, but in who I say you are. You are not behind. You are not late. You are exactly where I've designed you to be. And everything I promised still stands. Yes, even now, even after the failures, the setbacks, the mistakes, my plans for you are not built on your performance. They are built on my promise. And I do not lie. I do not change my mind about you. I don't choose based on popularity. I choose based on purpose. And you, my beloved, are marked by purpose. The stirring you feel, that's me. The sudden moments where your heart burns for more, where you feel pulled towards something you can't quite name. That's me awakening the dreams I placed in you long before you had words for them. You're not losing your mind. You're finding your spirit. You're remembering what your soul has always known. That you were born for more than survival. You were born for surrender, for impact for me. I am calling you out, not to embarrass you, but to empower you. I'm calling you out of hiding, out of fear, out of shame. I'm calling you into rooms that once made you feel small, but you'll enter them differently now. Not with insecurity, but with insight. Not with pride, but with presence. Because when you walk with me, you don't need to force your way in. I open what no one can shut. And when I elevate you, it's not for applause. It's for assignment. You don't need to compare yourself. You don't need to mimic their path or echo their voice. What I've written for you is entirely unique. It is custom woven for your calling. And your path, though painful at times, has led you to the exact intersection where obedience meets opportunity. That is where miracles are born. Not in ease, but in trust. Not in clarity, but in faith. So don't fear the unknown. You've walked blind before, and I never let you fall. This time is no different. You've survived what was meant to break you. And now I am releasing what was meant to build you. Strength, wisdom, favor, discernment. Doors will open that you didn't even knock on. Connections will come that you didn't chase. Not because of luck, but because of alignment. You are finally aligned with who I always saw in you. And now I need you to breathe. Just breathe. You've carried pressure that was never yours. You've tried to hold together things I was already breaking apart. Let go. Release it. I am not asking you to figure it all out. I'm asking you to trust that I already have. And my plan is good. Even when it doesn't feel good. It is forming good in you. Through you. Around you. You will soon look back at this season with awe. You'll remember the nights you cried and realize they were watering seeds you didn't know you were planting. You'll remember the loneliness and realize it was space I was making for new intimacy. You'll remember the confusion and realize it was only preparation for clarity. Nothing was wasted. Nothing. Not even the pain. Especially not the pain. Because it's from that pain that I'm birthing power. A quiet, holy, unstoppable power. One that doesn't rise in shouts, but in stillness. One that doesn't come from titles or platforms, but from presence. My presence. And you carry it now. Not because you earned it, but because you endured. You didn't give up. You chose me even when I was silent. And that choice has changed everything. So walk forward, not with fear, but with reverence. Something new is forming, not outside of you, but within you, and it will not be denied. You are being positioned for things your mind cannot yet fathom. Trust the stirring, trust the wait, trust the quiet. I'm still here. I've always been, and I'm not just leading you forward. I'm unveiling who you've been all along. You've been walking, not always knowing where the road leads, but every step has been noticed. Every breath, every tear, every whispered prayer in the dark. I have heard them all. You thought no one saw you. You believed you were overlooked, passed by, left behind. But I say to you now, you were never forgotten. You were being hidden. Hidden not for punishment, but for preparation. Because what I have placed inside you needed time. Time to grow. Time to take root. Time to become unshakable. There is a difference between being buried and being planted. You felt the weight of the soil above you, the darkness pressing in, the silence all around. But you were not buried. You were planted. And now the roots have gone deep. Now the time has come for you to rise, to push through the surface, to break into the light. Because what I have grown in secret, I will now reveal in glory. You've asked me why the process was so long, why the waiting hurt so deeply, why you were stripped of things you thought you couldn't live without. But beloved, pruning always comes before fruitfulness. I removed what could not remain so that you could carry what others could not. I silenced the noise so you could hear my voice. I emptied your hands so I could fill them with something holy. And now you are ready. Not perfect, but prepared. Prepared to carry fire without being consumed. Prepared to speak truth without trembling. Prepared to love without limits. Prepared to walk into rooms and change the atmosphere. Not by your strength, but by my spirit within you. You carry more than history. You carry destiny. And it is awakening now, in ways even you don't fully understand. You felt the trembling inside, that subtle shaking, that quiet stirring. That's not anxiety. That's not fear. That's birth. The birthing of something new. The release of something eternal. You are being positioned for a moment you didn't even know was coming. But I knew I've been guiding every detail to this intersection of heaven and earth. And now what has been delayed will no longer be denied. You will begin to see it. The unfolding, the beauty, rising from ashes, the laughter returning where sorrow lived too long, the strength where weakness used to dwell. You'll begin to walk differently, not because your circumstances have changed, but because your sight has. You'll see with new eyes. You'll recognize the miracles in the mundane. You'll hear my whisper in the wind. Feel my touch in the quiet. Sense my leading in the stillness. This is not a season of survival. This is a season of stretching, of soaring, of sudden shifts. Yes, there will still be storms, but you won't fear them. Because now, you know who is in the boat. You know who commands the waves. You know who walks on water. And that knowledge will anchor you when the winds come. There will be moments, sacred, holy moments, where you'll pause in the middle of your ordinary day and feel it, that stillness, that warmth, that overwhelming peace that doesn't make sense. That's me. That's my nearness. That's my affirmation that you are exactly where you need to be. I'm not rushing you. I'm walking with you. And every step is part of the unveiling. The conversations that shift your path. The people who suddenly enter your life. The words that seem to come out of nowhere but hit your spirit like lightning. All of it is me. All of it is alignment. All of it is preparation for what your spirit has long been sensing, that something is coming. And what is coming is not just for you. It's for those connected to you, for the generations after you, for the lives that will be touched through you. You are a vessel, a mirror, a conduit. And as you rise, others will rise too. As you heal, others will find hope. As you step forward, others will find the courage to take their own first step. You are not walking alone. You are leading others into freedom without even realizing it. So stay humble, stay soft, stay rooted in me. Don't let the noise distract you. Don't let the rush of this world pull you away from the rhythm of my presence. For I will continue to speak, not always loudly, but always clearly. I will continue to lead, not always with signs, but always with peace. And as you walk, you will begin to notice it. The favor that surrounds you, the clarity that guides you, the joy that returns, like the dawn after a long night. I will surprise you. I will bless you in places you thought were barren. I will restore relationships you thought were lost. I will open doors you thought were sealed shut. I will redeem time you thought was wasted, because I am not bound by human timelines. I move in seasons of purpose, and your season is shifting. You are entering the days where heaven touches earth through you. You may still feel unqualified. You may still wrestle with doubt. But I have chosen you, not because of your strength, but because of your surrender. Not because of your perfection, but because of your willingness. And that is enough. I will take what little you offer and multiply it in ways that echo into eternity. The battles that once broke you will become the stories that heal others. The lessons learned in silence will become the wisdom you carry in confidence. The brokenness you thought disqualified you has become the very thing I use to connect you to others. You are a vessel of light, not because you shine on your own, but because you carry the one who is light. So walk boldly, speak gently, love deeply, forgive freely, and keep your eyes on me. For the best is not behind you. The best is not just ahead. The best is unfolding right now within you. I have not only called you, I have equipped you, and everything you need I've already placed inside you. Now walk in it, live in it, rest in it, because the glory is rising. Amen. Comment Amen if you received this message, and don't forget to subscribe to Almighty God for more divine words from the heart of God.